60 weird facts most people don't know. Prepare to have your mind blown. Flamingos bend their legs at the ankle, not the knee. They essentially stand on tiptoe. Their knees are closer to the body and are covered by feathers. This is just the first of many weird facts to blow your minds. Roller coasters were invented to distract Americans from sin. In the 1880s, Hoosier businessman Lamarcus Thompson hated that Americans were tempted by hedonistic places like saloons and brothels, so he set out to straighten up one of the most immoral places he could think of, Coney Island in New York. There he built America's first roller coaster to give New Yorkers some good, clean fun, away from seedier pastimes. This is the scariest roller coaster in every state. Ice pops were invented by an 11-year-old by accident. In 1905, an 11-year-old boy named Frank Epperson left soda powder and water outside overnight with its wooden still in a cup. The mixture had frozen in the chilly nighttime weather, and so the epistle was born. He sold the treat around his neighborhood and a nearby amusement park, and even patented the recipe. Years later, he changed the name to Popsicle because that's what his kids called the Pops concoction. And if you like the weird facts, let's continue. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins can. By slowing their heart rate, sloths can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes. Dolphins need to come up for air after 10 minutes, about 10 minutes, and yeah. Next facts. A woman was elected to Congress before women's suffrage. American women were given the right to vote in 1920, but Jeannette Swaklin became the first woman in the U.S. federal office in 1916. Next facts. Food Loops are all the same flavor. No point in eating around the purple ones. All Food Loops taste like fruits, other than the wild berry Food Loops, of course. Supermarket apples can be a year old. These weird facts might have you changing the way you eat. Those fresh apples aren't all fresh per se. They usually picked between August and November, covered in wax, hot air, dried, and sent out into cold storage. After 6 to 12 months, they finally land on your grocery store shelves. It's impossible to hum while you're holding your nose. You just tested it, didn't you? Normally, when you hum, the air is able to escape through your body to create the sound, and of course, it can't do that when you're holding it shut. This is one of the weird facts you can test out for yourself. Go ahead, try it. Octopuses have 3 hearts. Squids do too. One pumps blood to their whole systems, and 2 are dedicated just to the gills. Learn the truth behind it. Most wasabi paste isn't real wasabi. Wasabi is very expensive, so most companies use horseradish instead. Real wasabi is actually mightier than what you've been getting with your sushi. Here, the real reason why you shouldn't touch sushi at all, you can still eat, but you can still eat buffets. People used to say prunes instead of cheese when having their pictures taken. In the 1840s, a big dairy, we say cheesy grin was seen as childish. So one London photographer told people to say prunes to keep their mouths shut taunts, and they look predated today's fish face selfie by about 180 years. Incidentally, the first selfie was really invented in 1839 by this guy. In the Philippines, McDonald's sells spaghetti. Some of these weird facts are very unexpected. The pasta comes with a beef tomato sauce and a piece of McDo fried chicken. Dune's caps used to be signs of intelligence. 20th century philosopher John Dune Surkos believed that a pointed cap would have spread knowledge from the tip to the brain, and his Dunesmen followers wore them as a badge of honor. In the 1500s, though, his ideas became less popular, and the meaning of the Dunes cap was turned on its head, becoming something of a joke and a meme. Lobsters teach with their feet. Tiny bristles inside a lobster's little pincers are their equivalent to human taste buds. Meanwhile, lobsters' teeth are in one of the three stomachs. Lobsters are one of these foods. Some professional chefs cook in the microwave. The British royal family is named after Winslow. You think Windsor Castle was named after the House of Windsor, but it's the other way around. The royal family changed its name in 1917 so it would sound less German and choose Windsor because they had ties with the English town. Three Musketeers boys got their name because they used to come with three flavors. The original Three Musketeers boys of the 1930s came in three packs with a different nuggets flavor in each: vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry. World War II rations made that triple treat expensive, so the company cut down to one. Before toilet paper was invented, Americans used to use corn cobs. Alternatively, they used periodicals like the Farmer's Almanac, which was designed with a hole so it could hang in outhouses. Necessity is the mother of all invention, after all. The Empire State Building has its own zip code. It's home to 10118, and finally, we found out what zip code really stands for. The shortest war in history lasted 38 minutes. When the Sultan of British protected Zanzibar died and a new one took over without British approval in 1896, the Brits were not happy. Tension escalated when Sultan Kahad refused to step down, but the British warships spent less than 40 minutes bombarding the palace before Khalid fled, making the very quick end of the Angelo. Oh. Blue whale tongues can weigh as much as an elephant. Their hearts, meanwhile, can weigh almost a ton and needs to beat just once every 10 seconds. The world's largest waterfall is underwater. Yes, there are waterfalls under the ocean, and the Denmark Straits, the cold water from the Nordic Sea, is denser than the Immortal Sea's warm water, making it drop almost 2 miles down at 123 million cubic feet per second. Michelangelo wrote a poem about how much he hated painting the Sistine Chapel. One transition of the poem he sent to his friend begins: I've already grown a gotcha from this torture, hunched up like a cat in Lombard, or somewhere else where the stagnant water's poison. Doesn't sound like he was too thrilled with his task. These are the secret messages you can find. Queen Elizabeth II has a stand-in to make sure the sun will get in her eyes. Ellie Slack has a similar height and stature to the Queen, so before big events, she'll do a rehearsal to avoid any royal pains like the sun getting in her Majesty's eyes. Slack has been doing it for 3 decades, but isn't allowed to sit in the dome, so it has to squat above it. Shadows are darker on the moon. On Earth, the atmosphere scatters more sunlight, and so our shadows aren't too dark. But on the moon, shadows are so dark that Neil Armstrong said he had trouble seeing where he was going. For more real these. And the moonlighting was real. The moonlighting was real. It's not fake. Some see cucumbers fight with the guts literally. When threatened, they'll shoot out their internal organs, which are poisonous to predators. They'll sometimes get rid of their entire digestive system, but the organs go back. The inventor of the internet regrets the URL setup. Tim Berners-Lee, who created the main software of the World Wide Web, admitted that he regrets one thing: adding that after HTTP, I don't know, any word address is it was standard for programming, but it didn't serve any real purpose. When looking back in 2009, he said leaving it out would have saved time and space. We guess we can forgive him. Don't miss this. The Statue of Liberty used to be a lighthouse. After a month after the statue's 1886 dedication, it became a working lighthouse for 16 years, which is with its torch visible from 25 miles away. Strawberries aren't berries. Neither are raspberries and blackberries, according to botanists. True berries stream from one single ovary flower and have two or more seeds. Strawberries don't fit that bill, but bananas, kiwis, and watermelons do. Quit falling for these other ones. The U.S. Treasury once printed $100,000 bills. Between December 18, 1934 and January 9th, 1935, the notes with Woodrow Wilson's face were issued to Federal Reserve banks but never went out to the general public. But which is probably for the best. Can you imagine losing that bill? A flock of ravens is called an unkindness. There are also they are known as a conspiracy, which is equally creepy. NASA uses countdowns because of a sci-fi film. Like the countdown of Fritz Lang used to create suspense in the rocket launch scene of his 1929 sci-fi film. Frau am Maude didn't just change history; it also inspired NASA to use countdowns before its own blastoffs. It's not exactly a race against the clock though. NASA can free to pause the clock to check mechanical difficulties. Manhattan ants are an ant species unique to a New York City. Biologists found them in a Pacific 14 block strip of the city. Here are 13. Fancy riding on bikes is illegal in Illinois. That includes riding without hands or taking your feet off the pedals when you're on the street. Don't miss. The world's smallest wasp is smaller than an amoeba. The wasp has the same body parts as any bug: brain, wings, eyes, and more. But it is a fifth of a millimeter long, making it smaller than most amoebas, which are made of just one cell. Some single-celled organisms are bigger than a wasp. Two can play at that game. The Corona Olga is made of just one cell but can go up to 12 inches long. Quit believing. Okay, most likely stands for fake words. In the 1930s, people jokingly spelled abbreviations incorrectly. One of the most famous all correct turned into always correct, and then of course into okay. Historians think it can because it stuck because Martin Van Buren, known as Old Kinloch, after his hometown in New York, supporters called themselves the OK Club when he was campaigning for re-election. The Eiffel Tower was originally intended for Barcelona. The Spanish city the decision was too ugly, so Gustave Eiffel pitched it to the Paris instead as a temporary landmark during its 1889 International Exposition. French critics didn't like it much either, though. Queen Elizabeth II's cows sleep on waterbeds. They apparently help ease the cattle's pressure points. Albert Einstein is an anagram for 10 elite brains. Seems fitting more than British military tanks are equipped to make tea. There was a boiling vessel inside a crew that can make tea and coffee anytime, including during battle. How frightfully English. There's a reason why you work better in coffee shops. Researchers once turned a live cat into a telephone. Princeton researchers M.S. Bodo and Charles Bray took out a cat's skull and most of its brain to connect the animal to electricity. When they spoke into the cat's ear, the sound could be heard through a phone receiver in another room. The twisted experiment paved the way for continual implant developments. Don't miss. Pez candy was invented to help smokers quit. The Australian Pez creator named the candies after the German word for peppermints. When they were introduced in 1927, they were round mints sold in tins, so you probably won't see a former chain smoker with a Mickey Mouse dispenser. There's only one gas station shaped like a shell. Eight were built in the 1930s, but the only one left is in North Carolina. William McKinney was shot right after giving away his good luck charm. President McKinney always wore a red carnation for good luck, for sometimes gave it out as a memento. When greeting the crowd in 1901, he handed a 12-year-old girl Mayat his the broom fell off his lapel, saying, "I must give you this flower to another little flower." Minutes later, he was fatally shot by a man in the crowd. You can see four states from the top of Chicago's Willis Tower. From the top of the former Sears Tower on a clear day, you can see about 40 to 50 miles away beyond Illinois and out to Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin. The shortest commercial flight in the world is in Scotland. Yes, it's true. Scotland Regional Airline Legiona operates the shortest commercial flight in the world between the islands Westray and Papa Westray. A distance of 1.7 miles, which is scheduled for 9 seconds. There's a reason why passports come in four cutters. There was a Here's a weird fact that might surprise you. Have you ever wondered why there isn't a hot pink passport? The reasoning is because most countries prefer dark shades of red, green, and blue, since these dark colors look more official, and if they're dirty, it's not as noticeable. The letter Q doesn't appear in any state's name. Out of all 50 states, not one has the letter Q in it. Scotland has more than 400 words for snow. There are a lot of weird facts out there, but many of them involve word choice. In Scotland, yes, there are more than 400 words for snow. There are 421 to be the exact. The world's largest national park is located in Greenland. There are lots of weird facts that people don't know. Northwest Greenland National Park is conventionally also located on the world's largest island. The remote national park is huge at 375,000 square miles, which is a lot. The Eiffel Tower took exactly 2 years, 2 months, and 5 days to create. There are many stunning places like in France, but the Eiffel Tower was one of the most recognizable structures in the world. It took a long time to build, over 2 years in fact. There's an American flag on royal wedding souvenirs. The wedding of Prince Harry to American Meghan Markle brought much fanfare and excitement, and that shows on souvenirs, including this coffee mug. But bet you didn't expect to find an American flag from this wedding. Here are a few more. Yeah, there are 5 countries in the world that don't have airports. If you're a jet-setting traveler, it's hard to imagine not having an airport nearby for your next family gathering or work event. However, Vatican City, San Marino, Monaco, and I know somehow make it work. Bleach expires. Did you know that household bleach expires? It's news to us too. This home clean product lasts about 6 months. It lasts about 6 months. The smallest. Hey, what's up, man? The smallest country in the world by land mass is Vatican City. This tiny country measures. Oh, what's up? Measures 0.02 square miles and even prints its own maps. Yeah. Not much. Cars can easily reach 140 degrees Fahrenheit. You might be driving along the highway and not notice how hot your car is getting. But when you get pulled over for a while, your car can reach intense degrees. That's one of the reasons why it's recommended you should never leave food in your car for long periods of time. You should never do that. Yeah. Cucumber slices can fight bad breath. Here's a weird fact you might know. Cucumbers can fight bad breath. If you don't have a mint on hand, use a slice of cucumber. Yeah. The last letter added to the alphabet was actually J. You might think that the letter Z is the last letter added because it's the last letter of the alphabet, but that's incorrect. It's actually J. The alphabet that we know and love today was created alphabetically too, basically, but yeah. The shortest railways in the world take less than 8 minutes. The smallest functional railway is Fisherman's Walk Cliff Railway, located in Bournemouth, England, and Angus Flights, located in Los Angeles. Adversaries on its website that it's the shortest railway in the world. Now that your brain is filled with these weird facts, yeah. Yeah, guys, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the facts of today. I just wanted to show you some facts that you didn't know, like things that you never knew yourself. But yeah, that was pretty much it because I just want to do a quick live on these facts that nobody never knew about. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm gonna go live again tomorrow. Make sure to stay tuned in for that live tomorrow. I'm gonna try to do it at 11 PST, like Eastern time. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you that joined us live, and God bless every single one of you. Thank you so much, guys.